Hello friends, you are aware that due to the pandemic of coronavirus for the last month, more than 1 month, as the government has declared lockdown in the whole country, the academic activities in the colleges are not possible nowadays. It was the time of our examinations, but due to this lockdown, the time schedule and the whole setup of examinations of the universities have been badly affected. And so, I hope that you might have been staying safely at your homes and you might have been taking care of your loved ones and other family members also. As the teaching work has been stopped in the colleges, in this free time of lockdown, I decided to reach to you through this video. I hope that you people might have preparing at home for the coming examinations. Today we will discuss about one poem which is prescribed by Amaravati University in your syllabus, especially in unit number 3. You know that the particular poem, the present poem, has been covered in our classroom teaching already. Still then, in order to keep you in touch with studies, today this discussion shall be a recapitulation, that is review of the portion which has been already covered in our actual classroom. Today we will discuss a poem, and the title of that poem is Solitary Reaper, and the poet of this poem is William Wordsworth. As you know that William Wordsworth is known as a nature poet in the annals of English literature, and he was a romantic poet. This particular poem, Solitary Reaper, is one of the famous poems by William Wordsworth, and this poem is read and discussed all over the world with a great interest by the lovers of literature and students also. The title is Solitary Reaper. At the outset, I would like to clear you the meaning of the title itself. Solitary means lonely, and reaper means one who cuts and binds the grain in the farm or field. This particular poem as it is very famous in the annals of literature, some thinkers of literature are of the opinion that this particular piece of literature was inspired by Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy Wordsworth when they were in Scotland. Actually, the immediate incident in this poem is that one day poet William Wordsworth was traveling in the Highland valleys in the country called Scotland, and while he was passing through that beautiful valley, this particular region was a mountainous area having the pleasant singing of the birds and beautiful trees and cornfields. The poet was passing through that valley, through that mountainous region, and unexpectedly he heard a very melodious song. So he stopped there in a surprise that from here this melodious tune or melodious voice is coming. No doubt other peoples were passing through that valley, and the poet in the first stanza addresses to the passers-by, means other peoples passing from there. I would like to read the original poem, the first stanza of the original poem. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the well profound is overflowing with the sound. The simple meaning of this stanza is that the poet saw one girl, actually in the country of Scotland. She was all alone in the field and she was singing a very melodious song. But while singing the song, she was working in the field. Simply says, she was a reaper. Reaper, as I cleared the meaning, that one who cuts and binds the grain. She was working in the farm, she was cutting and binding the grain, means crops in the field. And while she was cutting and binding the grain, she was singing that song. The poet addresses to the passerby, behold her, means see how that lonely girl is singing a beautiful song while she is working in her farm. She was singing that song while working. Actually, we don't know why she was singing that song, but the poet makes it clear that she cuts and binds the grain, and we can guess that the particular Highland girl might have been singing just to console her heart while she was working. But her song was very beautiful, very melodious. The writer says that she was singing in a melancholy strain, means she was not singing a happy song. Actually, the song was unhappy mood. The song was of unhappy mood. The writer says that the profound valley in that mountainous region, the profound valley was overflowing with the sweetness of her song, means her voice was echoing in that mountainous region. The whole profound valley means that valley was very deep, wide, but it was overflowing with the song of that Highland girl. Now, in the second stanza, the poet compares the beauty and melody of the song sung by this Highland girl from Scotland, to the voice and song of the nightingale bird. Nightingale is a bird which is very famous for its melodious song, and many travelers in the desert land, when they tired while walking in some shady places where there is a provision of water and some shadow, stay for some time and in that shadowy places, the song of the nightingale gives some consolation, satisfaction, and pleasure to the heart of the travelers. But here, poet says that the melody or say the tone of the song sung by this Highland girl was more beautiful than that of nightingale. Means the song sung by this Highland girl was more beautiful, more pleasant than the song of nightingale. Further, the poet compares the beauty of the song of this Highland girl with the song of Kakku. Kakku means koyal. In India, generally we call it koyal. The poet compares the song of this Highland girl with the song of koyal, and as the poet experienced, it was the experience of the poet as he depicts in the second stanza that the song of this Highland girl was more thrilling than the song of Kakku. The poet in the third stanza faces the problem that what actually the girl is singing. The poet is unable to understand the meaning of her song. Why it is so? Because this Highland girl was singing in her native language of that particular region in Scotland. The poet is from England. His language is English, and he does not know the Scottish language, and particularly the language in which the girl was singing that beautiful song. She might have been singing in her native language, and as the poet is unable to understand the meaning of that song, he requests one passerby that, as the poet says, will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy, for of things and battles long ago. In the first stanza, the poet has clarified that she was singing in a melancholy strain. Though the poet was not in position to understand the meaning of the song of that girl, but as she was singing in her native language, but he guessed that she might have been singing some sad happenings in her past life, because her song was not an expression of happiness, but it was an outlet of her unhappy experiences in the past life. And so, as the poet does not know the native language, he fully guessed that the girl might have been in a sad mood, and that's why she is singing such a sad song. Her song was an expression of her natural sorrow. There might have been some loss experienced by that girl in her previous life. She might have experienced a sort of pain in her former life, and that's why the tone of that song was sad, melancholy. The poet is singing, the poet is listening to her song very minutely, and he says that there was no ending to her song. Means she was singing continuously. While she was working, there was no stop to her song. And as we have seen that she was cutting and binding the grain or the crops in the field, she was in a bending position, and with her scythe, which is used for cutting, she was doing the work, and in that bending position she was singing the song. The poet was very much attracted by the beauty and the melody of the song sung by this girl. And so, in the fourth stanza, the poet says that I saw her singing at work. I listened motionless. Motionless means making no hustle and bustle. Means no disturb. The poet stood there in a still position, motionless. For a long time, he enjoyed that melodious song. Though it was a very sad song, the poet was greatly attracted by the melody and tone of that particular song sung by this Scottish Highland girl. The poet wanted to resume his journey. He stood there for a long time, motionless, but as he wanted to go ahead, he started to walk further, and the poet says that when I started my further journey, actually he was not going by car, he was going barefoot through that mountainous region. The writer says, William Wordsworth says, as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore. Poet says that I bore the song in the deep corner of my heart. This song was so beautiful, so melodious, and so lovely that I cherish, I store, bore means store, that song deep in my heart. The poet started the further journey, and as he was going away and away, at the same time you must keep this fact in your mind that the girl who was singing that song did not see the poet. She was not aware that somebody is listening or enjoying my song. She was not aware of the fact that William Wordsworth stayed there for a long time in still position and heard her song. On the other part, the poet himself was of the opinion that nobody should disturb that girl, and that's why he requests the other passers-by not to make noise. Suppose any disturb is caused, and if the girl came to know that somebody is listening to my song, she will stop her singing. And that's why he himself kept their perfect silence, and he also requested others to maintain this same. After listening this song for a long time, the poet says that when I started my further journey and as I was going away and away from that particular field in which the girl was singing the song, the voice was becoming lesser and lesser. It was becoming somewhat fainter. But the poet says that he might have been gone now. He says that long after it was heard no more. The reason is that to a particular distance the voice can be heard, but after going away from the place it was difficult to hear that song. And so the poet says that I bore that beautiful song in my heart, in the deep corner of my heart, and I departed. The last line is very significant in the sense that the poet says that long after means after that particular time leaving the place, such melodious song was not heard by the poet. Means after that particular happenings, after that incident, the poet says that I never heard such a melodious song, the song sung by the Scottish girl. And this poem, Solitary Reaper, is a very famous, and it is held as, it is appreciated as one of the most precious pearls in the history of romantic literature in English. Thank you, friends.